I bring you greetings from the friends of Spain, the friends of Europe. I want to bring you greetings as well from a nation that is in crisis. I'm not going to sugarcoat the gravity of what we face right now in the United States. This is the most significant threat to American democracy since the Civil War. Donald Trump in our country is trying to end our democracy. We are not on the verge of a totalitarian takeover. We are in the middle of it. He is trying to seize control of our courts, of our law enforcement, of our media, of our elections. His goal is oligarchic capture. He doesn't believe in democratic equality. He doesn't believe in shared prosperity. He's invaded American cities with his personal political police force, ICE, to crush peaceful protest.
Wow. Insult after insult against brave, patriotic Americans. Democrat Senator Chris Murphy continuing to bash America overseas, saying that our democratic republic is now being run by a totalitarian fascist regime. He's also promoting Iranian propaganda as well, propaganda that claims 26 Iranian Shadow Fleet ships somehow got past Trump's military blockade of Iranian ports. The Democrat senator responded, celebrating it as, quote, awesome. Fox News' Trey Yingst reporting it was actually Iranian propaganda. Listen.
There were some reports overnight indicating that 26 vessels from Iran's Shadow Fleet were able to make it past the U.S. blockade. There is no evidence of that, and despite what one Democratic senator talked about, there is a concerted effort by the United States to ensure that any vessels that are coming from Iranian ports are turned around or seized, as we saw with that one cargo ship over the weekend.
So, Trey, that was just Iranian propaganda, right?
Yes, absolutely. It is not getting past the U.S. blockade, according to all reports and information that we have from the region.
Well, let's welcome to the show Fox News' big weekend show co-host Tomi Lahren. Tomi, great to see. A spokesman for Murphy is claiming that that tweet was sarcasm. Well, Murphy then responded as well, saying he couldn't believe he had to clarify that it was sarcasm. Just to be clear, Tomi, Senator Murphy didn't say awesome to something that was pro-Trump, in which case it would have been sarcasm. He said awesome to something that was anti-Trump and actually Iranian propaganda. Your thoughts on all this?
Well, I'll tell you, if it was sarcasm or intended to be funny, it really went over like a lead balloon. I don't think anybody got the joke. Nobody got the sarcasm. And, you know, perhaps it would be easier to believe that it was indeed sarcasm if you wouldn't have seen and heard some of the things that this very same person said overseas. You know, it's always in poor taste when politicians from this country go to other countries and bash this country. But it's especially egregious in my mind when there's an ongoing conflict in which you have men and women who serve this country in harm's way, and you go to another country and you disparage the United States of America, a country that you not only live in, but a country in which you serve the people of and you represent in Congress. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised, David, because these are the same people who go to El Salvador, sip margaritas with Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the same people who label our ICE agents the Gestapo, secret police, Nazis. It's hard to escape the conclusion that these people and their allegiance to the United States is dependent on who's in office. If it's not their guy or gal, they don't seem to have much love for this country. That's un-American, and it's wrong.
And after bad-mouthing American patriots and people putting their lives at risk for America, he's running cover for the Iranians. Even going back to 2022, when Senator Murphy proposed to take the Iranian National Guard, or the Revolutionary Guard, off of our terror watch list. Watch this.
Would you take the Iran's Revolutionary Guard off the terror list in order to get a deal?
Yes. I mean, the practical impact of designating them as a foreign terrorist organization is inconsequential. We have dozens of other terrorist designations on the IRGC that would remain.
Again, just to be clear, Tomi, the Revolutionary Guard is a terrorist organization. It's been killing Americans for decades, and just recently, of course, slaughtered about 40,000 innocent Iranian protesters. How can a U.S. senator not know this?
when, again, calling them inconsequential, I go back to my earlier point. This is a man who just said that we have ICE agents, those are American patriots, by the way, terrorizing cities. But this man not so long ago was saying, yeah, you can remove the IRGC off the terrorist watch list. It's inconsequential, or off the terrorist designation. These people, I mean, I don't understand why they're in this country. They don't seem to love it. They don't seem to love the men and women who protect and defend it, both foreign and domestic. I don't understand what the angle is here. It's really disturbing to watch. I understand they don't like this president. Okay,
Yeah.
You can have your issues with the conflict in Iran. You can have your issues on policy with President Trump. But when you disparage this nation over and over and over again, and he's not the only one that did it, by the way. Governor Tim Walz from Minnesota, a state that is ripped off the taxpayer, by the way, he did the same thing while in Spain. So you'd think that these people would have a little bit more awareness, but they can't because they are governed by their Trump derangement syndrome, and that seems to be the only allegiance that they have.
Well, disparaging Americans while running cover for a terrorist regime. I mean, it's incredible. Both sides of that equation are wrong. Tomi, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Now.